It is time for Sacramento Kings over-exaggerations. Here's the thing. With Kyle, not only does he run all those things, I can just text him in the morning and go, hey, Kyle, come up with 5 Kings over-exaggerations because I'm lazy. And so he did it. Shout out to Kyle. What are our 5 Sacramento Kings overreactions? And we'll determine whether or not they are overreactions or not.
All right. Well, you kind of pitched this one earlier, and we talked about it a bit. But how about, is Keegan Murray now officially getting the designation going forward as being injury prone?
This is a complete overreaction to me. A complete overreaction. Keegan has not only been consistently available throughout his entire career. There are literally statistics, numbers that track the amount of distance he traveled or he's traveled, not like flights from country to country, but just time on the court. The dude has amongst the top workloads in the NBA, period. We know what he takes on defensively. Offensively, we know we'd like the shot to be better. There is thoughts that how much is that impacting? Maybe his legs aren't behind his shot. That's why the shot's there. It's not excuses. It's just realities of situations. Keegan is not an injury-prone player. This has been a nightmare season for him where a bunch of injuries have jumped up out of nowhere in a season where the entire Kings team is riddled with injuries. It's not just been Keegan, it's been this entire team. Check the electrical substation.
I was just going to say, gosh, there's something to this.
It is absolutely an overreaction that Keegan Murray is an injury-prone player. He is not.
Yeah, I think it's an overreaction too. And again, I am one who does kind of trace injuries and injury history, and there are certain players that red flags go up. He is not one of those players. And Chris Biederman, who joined the show earlier, had also mentioned, like, this isn't something that has been an issue in the past with him, including going all the way back to college. This is an unlucky season. And unfortunately, Kings fans, not only an unlucky season for your team, but unlucky season for him specifically, which has got to be a bummer. And I get it. Like, that's the first thing you maybe think of because it's just been one injury after another this year. But I do think that's why I say I got to give Keegan more time and a full season here moving forward to A, stay healthy, but B, see if we can, again, get a little bit more out of him on the offensive side.
Are we ready for over-exaggeration 2?
Number 2.
All right, number 2. We're currently, 13-47 on the season. Is it an over-exaggeration to say the Kings will break the franchise record for the worst record of all time?
So that means less than 4 wins over these final 22 games.
So they would have to go 3-19 or worse the last 22 games with the second easiest schedule.
It's definitely possible. Boy, it would almost be impressive if they were able to do it because they play New Orleans twice. Both of those games in Sacramento, by the way. And New Orleans is, well, to be fair, the Pelicans are not good.
Not bad.
But they're not trying to lose.
By the way, there's a ton of games in March at home.
Yes, Chicago, a ton of games at home. You still have Chicago at home. You still have Utah at home, although who knows what version of Utah is going to show up. It depends on how angry the league gets, I guess.
They're getting third-party consultation on Larry Markkinen to make sure they're not tanking his injury.
You still have Brooklyn twice.
I mean, Jordy beat him last year here.
I want to believe. Well, I don't want to believe because it's not fun. It would be fitting. It would be appropriate this season that the Kings don't break the 17 wins and they have their worst season ever. It would be truthfully appropriate. I think it is an over-exaggeration, though. Like, not winning 4 more games out of these final 22 is pretty crazy. But then again, they just went on a 15, 16 game losing streak. So anything's possible, I guess.
As much as I want to say it's an over-exaggeration, I don't think it is. And I only say that because, I don't want anything else to happen to any player on this team. But the way that it's been going, like, there could be another injury of some sort, right? There are a lot of young players or two-way players that are playing right now that just, quite frankly, are way below the talent level of any team you're playing, even the bad teams you're playing the rest of the season. I know they're back at home and they play better at home, but if anything, I think those are just going to be close games. Maybe they eke out 1 or 2 wins in that month of March. But then what have they proven on the road except for 1 game recently? I mean, they were losing on the road since December 6th. I don't see any more road games being winnable. I think they could break that.
That's a good. I don't think they'll win another game on the road. Truth be told, I genuinely don't think they will, unless maybe they get like one of the back-to-back games in Golden State. They do play Charlotte on the road, although Charlotte's playing better. Orlando, Atlanta, Brooklyn, Toronto. Maybe the Brooklyn game. Yeah, I don't think they're winning the game on the road. I don't. Yeah, I think it's very possible. Let's put it that way. I think it's very possible that they don't beat that 17-game mark. They might tie it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be dissatisfying?
I know.
It would be.
Either be better or worse, damn it. Don't be the same.
No, it would be most dissatisfying if you get to 17 and that's not the worst record in the NBA.
That's a good point.
You neither get the top odds or the worst record in franchise history.
I don't think.
Leave it to them to do that.
I would be stunned at this point. I feel very confident that the Kings will stay exactly where they are in the Tankathon standings. I think they're going to be.
Yeah.
I don't think any team's catching them.
I don't
I think
either.
they're more than bad enough to secure it.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball Reference does a playoff probability index. I wish they had a bottom of the draft probability index, like where your spot is supposed to be.
Ouch.
Because right now it'd be like, do the Kings have a 73% chance at the top pick?
Right.
Or,
no, I think they have like
odds?
a 90% chance.
It's pretty high, whatever
Goodness.
it is.
I don't know.
Pretty high.
2 games against Brooklyn, though. Brooklyn's you got to lose those Brooklyn games.
How far is Brooklyn in terms of?
So
Brooklyn is 3.5 games back of Sacramento.
Got it.
They're 15-42. The Kings are 13-47.
but Brooklyn's played 3 less games
Correct.
than Sacramento.
The Sacramento of the East, huh?
Brooklyn's very much going to want to lose those games.
Well,
Right.
guess who's coaching Brooklyn?
Jordy.
Yeah, it's like Brooklyn's also the youngest team in the league, so I don't know if Brooklyn is the Kings of the East necessarily
That's
works.
the Bulls.
That's
We've already established it. That's
Yeah,
the Bulls.
we're the Sacramento Bulls.
Yeah.
All right. Over-exaggeration number 3.
All right, number 3 on our over-exaggerations. Malik Monk. We haven't talked about him very much recently.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
He hasn't started a game all season, but he should get some starts in the final 20-plus games.
Yeah, I think this is an over-exaggeration. I don't think there's any chance of this happening. The Sacramento Kings, I'm not fully believing the thing that I reported way back at the beginning of this show that the Kings are like committing to Malik going forward. I think the market had just dried up on him at the time. I think the Kings are more than likely going to revisit potentially trading him this summer if they can, if nothing else, just to move off of the money. If he stays, though, his role is pretty clearly at best coming off the bench in that sort of role. And even that, I don't think the Kings are all that confident in going forward. So, no, I don't think Malik Monk's going to be anywhere near this starting lineup. I think they would start Devin Carter, Killian Hayes, any of these other guys over him if those guys were available, if they had to, assuming, like tonight, Russell Westbrook is not playing.
Right. That's correct. So who do you think will be in?
I think tonight...
Malik's also questionable. I forgot about that.
Malik is questionable tonight.
Too. That's right.
I would imagine either... So Neek Clifford is going to start. In my opinion, Neek Clifford will start in favor in the spot of Keegan Murray.
Yep.
So I would guess either Killian Hayes starts or Devin Carter starts.
This is where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh, so Neek's going to start at the 4?
No, at the 3.
3.
I think because they've
So
been
DeMar
playing,
4. Yeah.
No, they've been playing Keegan at the 3 because they've been starting Keegan next to Precious and Max.
Oh, got it. Okay, so you're.
They had Neek start the second half of last night's game in place of Keegan. I think they're going to continue to do that. The point guard position with Russ being out tonight, I think will probably be held down by. I think Devin Carter makes more sense because he's done it before.
But they're not going to do that.
Oh, I think they
You think they're
potentially
going to start
could.
him tonight?
They did it one time.
They have.
Is he still on the list for soreness?
He's not on the injury report.
Yeah, I don't think
Got
he's on
it.
the injury.
Well, maybe
injury
then they
report.
will.
The only reason I hesitate about Killian Hayes is because he's barely been with the team
Yeah.
and now to be hoisted into the starting point guard spot. But I don't know. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, your bet is as good as mine on that one. That'll be interesting to see the lineup. I'll go with over exaggeration too. I think like we know what they know that Malik Monk's role is, and I know the other day it probably didn't help him either with some issues with ball handling, like in that game against Memphis, right? So I think in this situation, he's going to have the role like he always pretty much does, is coming off the bench, which is fine. That's what he thrives in the most. I love Malik Monk. He does give excitement at times through a really, really bleak season.
Yes.
So it is at least great to still have him on this team, but to come off in some starts, I don't think so.
Next overreaction.
All right, overreaction number 4. Despite all of the injuries this year, DeMar DeRozan has played in every game. So,
That's not a sarcastic
I
clap.
do not want to curse this guy. I'm dead serious.
well, you don't have to, but we are going to ask the question at least. Will DeMar DeRozan, or I guess overreaction, DeMar DeRozan will play in all 82 games this season?
I think he will. I think it's a pride thing. It's something that's very important to him. And the reason why I'm not so worried about the jinx is specifically because, one, in the midst of all this injury issue riddled season, it has not affected DeMar yet. And I don't feel the need to knock on wood when I say that, because specifically DeMar has made a career out of being available, being healthy.
Yeah.
He takes phenomenal care of his body. He plays within himself. I'm very confident that DeMar will play all 82 games. I think that's important to him. And I always think, regardless of how I may feel about veterans and this and that and stuff and where the Kings are at, it is always admirable to have a player play and be available as much as DeMar is. It was that way for Harrison Barnes. It was that way for Buddy Hield. I think it's tremendous, and it is a testament to a 37-year-old future Hall of Famer that he's able to do this and take care of himself and still be as effective as he is. So I'm rooting for DeMar. I hope he gets that 82 game.
Yeah, I've spoke some things into existence on this show that I'm not proud of necessarily, just because I speak sometimes and some things have happened. So I don't want to jinx this guy, but I will say his pattern has shown that, he can overcome pretty much anything.
Yep.
And I freaking love it. Like, just being at that age and being able to keep your body like that, healthy like that, and to be consistent, not only with your play, but just being able to stay out on the court. There's no reason to tell me right now that he wouldn't be out there for all 82 games, like that he's not going to finish out the season. There's no, what proof is there for me to say that? So
Yeah.
I think he will. I don't think it's an exaggeration.
Yeah, it's only the state of the team that would prevent it from happening. I mean, I guess unless he gets hurt, which again, hey, Kayla, we got to knock on that wood a couple times. But
I think he's given us no reason. He's never been injury prone. He does a really good job taking care of himself and keeping himself. I know freak accidents and injuries and things like that can happen, but there's no reason to believe it. Well, you can't operate through life scared that you're going to trip downstairs every time you step out the door or anything like that. So
Unless you're me.
unless you're injury prone like Kayla or I.
by the way, just a random note that I've known for years and it's kind of crazy. DeMar DeRozan's played the most minutes of any NBA player in the last, go back however far, 8, 10, 12, 14,
That's
however many years.
wild.
He's perpetually available and he plays a lot. And he plays within himself. His game is what's the word I'm looking for? His game translates into being able to play a lot.
Again, why I don't understand why not one freaking team in the NBA, when they know injuries happen to plenty of players towards the playoff push, to not add him.
It's just the contract.
Maybe this summer.
Jeez.
Partially guaranteed deal. Maybe this summer you can get a taker. We'll see.
Yeah.
Gets waived, and if he's coming in at $10 million, I think a lot of teams would be interested in him.
Yeah.
But it's just the contract, and it's just the style of play thing.
Yep.
All right, last over exaggeration.
All right, our last one. One of the rookies, whether that's Neek, Dylan Cardwell, Maxime, pick your favorite. One of the rookies will be an opening night starter for the 2027 Sacramento Kings.
The only chance that we have of this, other than injuries, and we don't even want to talk about that because we've had enough this year, damn it. The only chance of this happening is if Domantas Sabonis is traded.
Yep.
And I do think the Kings are going to explore that. I would be very surprised if it does happen. If that's the case, then I would expect Maxime Reynaud to be the starting center for the Kings next season. So I will say this is an exaggeration or an over-exaggeration. It's not impossible, but I would say it's highly unlikely that this happens. Neek Clifford, I don't think really has much of a chance. No. Again, barring injury or maybe, hey, if the scenario that we've been talking about plays out to where, well, even then, even if they traded Keegan Murray for another draft pick, I'd imagine DeAndre Hunter would just step right into that spot. So I would say this is a overreaction. I don't think any of those young Kings are gonna start next season, at least on opening night.
I think, again, if we had something that had happened to Domas at this point where he had been traded away and there's not a clear option right now next year, then Maxime would be that guy. But I don't see necessarily Domas being traded away in the offseason. So I'm going to say it's an over exaggeration as well.